The 2026 NBA All-Star Championship wasn't supposed to feel like this. It wasn't supposed to feel intense. It wasn't supposed to feel personal. It definitely wasn't supposed to feel like three apex predators fighting for hierarchy in real time. But that's exactly what happened when Anthony Edwards, Kawhi Leonard, and Victor Wembanyama stepped onto the same stage. This wasn't an exhibition. This was a statement. Anthony Edwards arrived at 24 years old with something different in his posture. Not excitement, not gratitude, control. The kind of control that only comes when a player realizes he doesn't belong in the future conversation anymore. He belongs in the now. From the opening possession of the 2026 All-Star Championship, Edwards wasn't playing for highlights. He was playing to dominate space. He attacked switches instantly. He punished defenders who sagged. He hunted mismatches like a playoff closer, not an all-star participant. And that's what made this feel different. All-star games are usually rhythmless, loose rotations, lazy closeouts. But Edwards treated every possession like it mattered. He sprinted back on defense. He fought over screens. He called for the ball when the game tightened. Because when the championship round slowed down and the scoreboard pressure became real, he didn't hesitate. He detonated. A violent drive through traffic for a finish at the rim, a pull-up three from deep with zero hesitation, a defensive stop that turned into transition offense. In a matter of minutes, the energy flipped, and it revolved around him. He finished the night with 32 points, 9 rebounds, and key playmaking moments that didn't always show in raw numbers. But what truly stood out wasn't the stat line, it was the ownership. Edwards didn't react to momentum swings. He created them. He dictated pace. He made defenders uncomfortable. And in a format designed to amplify urgency, he looked built for chaos. That hasn't always been the narrative. Early in his career, critics questioned his shot selection, his consistency, whether his elite athleticism would translate into disciplined, winning basketball. Some compared him physically to legends but doubted the mental wiring. In 2026, those doubts felt outdated. The handle is tighter now. The footwork is more controlled. The reads more advanced. He isn't just explosive, he's calculated. He understands timing. He understands when to attack and when to let the defense reveal itself. Coaches notice that evolution. They notice when a young star stops chasing moments and starts manufacturing them. They notice when defensive effort remains consistent in an environment where most players conserve energy. And that's what makes Edwards' performance sustainable. Because it isn't built only on athletic gifts, it's built on competitive obsession. But if Edwards represented force, Kawhi Leonard represented precision. At 34 years old, Kawhi entered the 2026 All-Star Championship carrying a different kind of weight. Years of injuries, years of load management jokes, whispers about decline, questions about durability. He answered without speaking. Something is chilling about watching Kawhi in rhythm. No wasted movement, no emotional spikes, just mechanical efficiency. In the semi-final round, he delivered one of the purest scoring displays of the entire weekend. Mid-range fadeaways over tight coverage, catch-and-shoot threes from the corner with robotic balance, post-ups that punish smaller defenders without rushing the possession. 31 points on near-flawless efficiency. But the scoring wasn't the loudest part, it was the defensive detail. In a setting where most players prioritize offense, Kawhi was reading passing lanes, timing strips perfectly, forcing stars into uncomfortable angles. Even in an all-star setting, he played like possessions had consequences. Earlier in his career, Kawhi faced a different type of doubt. Too quiet, too system-driven. Could he carry an offense? Later, injuries clouded the narrative further. But what we saw in 2026 wasn't a player surviving off reputation. It was a veteran refining chaos. When the momentum began tilting toward Edwards' squad, Kawhi didn't force hero shots. He slowed the game, called for the ball at the elbow, surveyed, delivered a turnaround jumper that quieted the run. Then, on the next trip, he baited a double team and fired a skip pass to the weak side for a clean three. That's growth. The athletic explosiveness may not be identical to his physical peak, but the IQ is deeper. The patience is stronger. The understanding of angles and leverage is more advanced. The advanced metrics supported what the eye test screamed. Opponents shot significantly worse when he was the primary defender. The team's defensive rating dipped when he rested. His usage was high, but his turnovers were minimal. Coaches trust that. They trust players who stabilize storms. Who doesn't rush? Who doesn't panic? Who understands that controlling pace is often more lethal than speeding it up? And that's why Kawhi's performance feels sustainable. Because it's rooted in skill, footwork, and decision-making, not just burst. Then there's the anomaly, Victor Wembanyama. At 22, he doesn't feel young. He feels unfair. 7 foot plus with guard fluidity, shooting touch that stretches defensive geometry, defensive instincts that erase space. In the 2026 All-Star Championship, he didn't just score, he altered structure. Every possession bent around him. Defenders hesitated on closeouts, unsure whether to challenge the jumper or brace for the drive. Guards thought twice before attacking the paint because he was lurking near the rim. Fear doesn't show up in box scores, but it changes behavior. Early in his career, skeptics questioned durability. They wondered if his frame could withstand physicality. They debated whether his perimeter skills would translate against elite athletes. On this stage, those doubts shrank. When his team fell behind, he didn't float to the perimeter. He attacked. A spin move through contact for a one-handed finish. A chase-down block that shifted momentum. A step-back three over a smaller defender who couldn't contest high enough to matter. 30-plus points, efficient shooting, multiple blocks, rebounds in traffic. But what separated him was composure. He didn't rush double teams. He didn't panic under physical defense. He trusted reads, kicked out to shooters, repositioned instantly on defense. Advanced numbers showed opponents' field goal percentage near the rim dropped significantly when he was the anchor. His efficiency per touch ranked among the highest in the tournament. The game looked slower for him. Coaches and scouts notice adaptability. They notice a 7-footer switching on to guards without fear. They notice rim protection that doesn't rely solely on jumping, but on timing. Is it sustainable? His mechanics suggest yes. His defensive instincts are built on anticipation. His offensive growth expands every season. The ceiling doesn't feel theoretical, it feels inevitable. And that's why the 2026 All-Star Championship felt different. 3 timelines collided. Anthony Edwards, the explosive present, emotion, takeover energy, competitive fire. Kawhi Leonard, the refined master, experience, calculation, and composure. Victor Wembanyama, the evolving future. Length, skill, and defensive intimidation fused into one. They didn't just trade highlights, they competed. The possessions tightened late, rotation sharpened. Shot selection became intentional. It felt less like an exhibition and more like a preview of playoff wars we haven't seen yet. Which brings us to the bigger question. Is Anthony Edwards stepping into the role of the undisputed face of the league? Can Kawhi Leonard translate veteran mastery into one more championship-level run? Is Victor Wembanyama accelerating toward a future where MVP debates become routine? Because what we witnessed wasn't random. It was evolution on display. 3 competitors revealing layers of who they are and who they're becoming. So when you watch the tape again, when you ignore the highlight packages and study the details, what do you actually see? Do you see dominance? Do you see sustainability? Or do you see the beginning of the next era? So what do you see when you watch Anthony Edwards, Kawhi Leonard, and Victor Wembanyama?